just hit 500 subscribers, guys. I cannot believe it. What just happened? You guys are liking this stuff. You're sharing this stuff. Man, I really appreciate these comments. You know, we get to interact. It's cool. Some people don't like what I do. That's all right. That's fine. Your opinion matters too. We're all in this together, whether you like it or not. So you're not going to be stepping on my toes. I'm going to keep doing my deal how I've been doing it for a long time until something changes. So what we got today is we got a spindle that kind of got ate up by some bearings. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a kingpin, a spindle, wheel hub, all that fun jazz. This is on a pusher axle. You guys stick around. We all might learn something on this one. We got this spindle right here. It's all chewed up. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a kingpin. So we got to take these loose right here. Take all this fun stuff off. Let's get started. Yep, I'm going to get these brakes out of the way. So we got to heat this spindle up, get the arm off here. That's what we're doing. We broke that nut loose. We're going to heat this dude up, pop her out, hopefully. There we go. Whew. That's cool. So to get these kingpins out, we got these side pins right here. There's one right there, and we got one on the other side. There's a nut for it. Actually, we only got one in this one. So there's a nut for this one, and we'll punch it out, hopefully. Now usually I back this nut off to about right there, about flush. And I'll stick my torch on this side, heat that pin up. So you get cherry hot like that. Just like that. See? There it is. It's a little wedge type of deal. It's really hot right now, so I'm not going to touch it. That's it. Good job, guys. That could be a tricky part if you don't do it right. Okay, now we're going to say a little prayer. Hopefully this kingpin just falls right out. We'll see what happens. Look at that. Wow. I didn't even have to hit it with a hammer. Fell right out. Man. Thank God. See? A little prayer goes a long way. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Now they usually don't come out like that, guys. You usually got to have a special tool, and Tiger Tool makes one. I know. You know, I don't really have one of those. Usually I got to beat the shit out of it or cut it into pieces with a torch. That's usually how I do it. I'm too cheap to buy the expensive tool just yet. I'll get it one day. I will. But for now, I'm going to beat the hell out of stuff. So here's what I like to do, guys. We got our spindle here. I like to fit everything. And if you notice on this kingpin here, on the very top of it, it says top. So this one goes on top. Pretty obvious, but you never know. And then you got to pay attention to where these notches go. So kind of eyeball it, which one goes where. There's only one pin in this one, so we're only going to be using one of these notches. It has two, but this one, it only takes one on this type. So top. So what I like to do is I like to fit everything first. Make sure it goes in smooth. I'm going to put it in the top and the bottom before you fit it. That's nice. It turns really good. Work it back out of there. Come over to this one. Put it in here. Does it fit smooth or not? You're gonna have to use a tool to ream this out. Now I got a cool reaming tool I'll show you real quick. I'm not gonna use it on this one, but I'll show you anyway. So I have this tool. It's a little honing tool. This is what I use to ream them out if it needs to be reamed. This one doesn't fit in this type because it's a pusher axle, not a steer axle. I use this on the steer axles. It works perfect. You know, you get it in there, clean it all up real good. Sometimes they have nicks. You gotta use a file in there to clean them up, and then hone it out. Make sure that your pin goes in there nice and smooth and turns easy. If it doesn't turn smooth and easy, once you put all this stuff together, it's not going to turn smooth and easy. So you want to fit everything first. Make sure it all fits. Now we're gonna put our spindle on and do the same thing. We're gonna fit it. Now we're gonna fit it this way. Everything fits nice and smooth, guys. So now we're gonna work on getting the bearings in there and the shims. So here's how I like to do my shims. Grab my spindle, set this right here. Boop. I'm gonna put the pin in, just the top side. Just the top, just leave it right there. And then, make sure our bearing goes in. Does it go in tight? It goes in pretty tight. That's perfect, guys. Absolutely perfect. We've got 3 shims in there. They're all different thicknesses. I don't know what they are, but it fits perfect. There's no play. The bearing is pretty tight in there. Not real tight. You don't have to smack it in with a hammer. Usually if you tap it, you have to tap the bearing in a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. If you can't get the bearing in, then you got to take a shim out. But this one's perfect. I like it. So we're gonna run with that many shims. It says top on the top side of this pin, so we're right there. Give her a love tap. That's perfect. So now we're going to put our little wedge bolts in here. It's got a little wedge on here. Just going to go in just like that. Hopefully you guys can see it. Till it comes out the other side. Give it a little love tap. We're going to put our nut on. So we're going to be putting this piece back in there. This is for your tie rod and your shock. You know, it's still pretty hot for me heating it up and knocking it out. I don't like putting stuff together while it's still hot or warm. I let it cool off, because once you put it in there and it's hot, it expands and it contracts, whatever it does. I don't know, but it doesn't help. It makes it a mother for the next person getting it out. So I'm going to let this thing cool off before I put it back in. Same with your kingpin. You don't want to be knocking your kingpin in there if you had to cut everything out and get it real hot. Once you put the new kingpin in there, if it's still hot, it's going to swell around it. Just let it cool off, guys. Go take a break, go drink you some water, take lunch, whatever. So we're going to wait on this one. We're not going to install it yet. But look at this, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is how you want it to be. If you put it together and it's you messed up, okay? You're gonna have to do it right. If you don't do it right, you're gonna be in some problems, especially if you're doing it with a steer. If you do this wrong on the steer, once you turn the wheel, it's just gonna stay there. It's gonna get stuck because this thing's so tight. It's just gonna, wherever you turn that wheel, it's gonna go and it's not gonna return. You want this thing to return back to place, and the way it's gonna do that is if it's smooth. Just a little tip, guys. And put this thing back on, whatever it's called. Now we got our shock back on. So what we're gonna have to do on this one is I'm going to have to hook this little chain hoist up. See if it works. I'm not sure if this is gonna work or not, but I'm gonna try it, because I can't get this tie rod, I can't get this spindle to turn with the shock on here because it's too tight, and we're fighting the other shock on the other side too. If If you guys ever mess with pusher axles, you know what I'm talking about. Here we go. That didn't work. Let's try again. Don't have one of these little chain hoists, get one, because they're freaking handy. When you're out here by yourself working on this stuff, you need all the extra hands you can get. Crane, hoist. This seems to be working. We got a ways to go though. Let's keep going. So I got another chain hoist on the other side. Now I'm gonna have to back this one off. Okay. Looky there, guys. I made something happen. That's cool. I love it when a plan comes together. We're gonna go back on with our S-cam tube. Yes, yes. Now we get to go in with our S-cam. Let's go on with our new hub. Oh, yes. Put our bearing in. There we go. That's the torque spec, guys. Always fold your tabs over, guys. Don't forget about this step, or you won't be able to sleep at night. You know, I was kind of dreading this job, to be honest with you. I was like, shit, this is going to be fun. It's going to be a warm one today. And I got to be doing kingpins. So I was trying to stay motivated, and it wasn't working. But to be honest with you, this job wasn't too bad. I mean, it's not over yet, I guess. I shouldn't be speaking too soon. Go on with these new brake pads here. So I'll show you how these things work. So these go in the little holes there, and you got to push them like this. It pushes through, and then you put this little pin on the other side, holds it in place. Kind of ghetto, but that's how they have it. So that's how it's going together. I didn't make it, I just fixed it. There's probably a special tool for this. If you guys know about it, let me know. Alright, there we go. Alright guys, well, we're pretty much done here. I'm going to throw the drum on, I'm going to put the tire on, I'm going to do the brakes on the other side and adjust them. Once you do brakes to one side, you got to do the other. If you do S-cams, bushings, any of that type of stuff, you got to do it to the other side so everything's nice and even. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do brakes on the other side. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching some of this stuff. I really do. You know, we're at 500 subscribers now. It's unbelievable. Now you guys comment in the post. You know, if you see something different, or you would have done it this way, or you got a little trick, you know, share it in the comments. You know, we'd all like to know about it. There's always room for improvement. I'll keep some, hey, I'll learn. I like this stuff, man. If you guys have been in the field for 20 years and you know a little bit of a different way, share it, guys. We're all in this together, like I said at the beginning of the video. But until then, guys, we'll see you on the next one.